So, Jay-Z and Beyoncé stayed sneaky with their romance for one reason only, because Jay's closet is overflowing with skeletons. He first spotted her at just 16 and instantly claimed she'd be his future wife. From that moment, Jay and Beyoncé's mom teamed up, running the entire relationship like a corporate contract. She was way too young to resist, stuck obeying his every command. And slowly, fans have been worried sick about her safety. Whispers swirl that Beyoncé is stuck under his control. Some insist the streets buzz with talk of Jay-Z sneaking around with another woman, and when pregnancy entered the picture, he made sure she vanished. In this video, we're tearing apart the wild conspiracies tying Jay-Z and Beyoncé together. So buckle up, it's about to get messy. Music, Beyoncé and Jay-Z remain one of the biggest power duos alive, yet their romance drips with endless secrecy. Today we're diving into a full-blown celebrity conspiracy breakdown, because unanswered questions won't stop. People constantly debate when Beyoncé and Jay-Z officially began, since reports suggest she was underage. Add in theories about Jay's secret affairs, like one involving a woman named Kathy, who mysteriously turned up dead, and suddenly there's also speculation that Kathy might secretly be the real mother of Blue Ivy. Which means, buckle up, there's plenty to unravel. And just to be clear, this is pure conspiracy chatter. I'm not feeding you fake receipts, only piecing wild claims together. So let's dive in. Let's rewind to Beyoncé's age when Jay-Z stepped onto the scene, because remember, there's a jaw-dropping 12-year gap. Back in 2008, chatting with 17 magazine, Beyoncé insisted, "I was 18 when we first crossed paths and 19 when dating began." She doubled down, saying, "There's no rush. Nobody expected me to suddenly marry him." Beyoncé has stuck to that timeline, claiming she was 18. But Jay-Z himself has hinted otherwise, implying their first meeting happened when she was just 16, boldly bragging she would be his. There's also a photo snapped during Destiny's Child's No video shoot, showing Jay-Z and Beyoncé together just 2 months after she turned 16. So already, one of Beyoncé's claims looks shaky. Now, I'm not here screaming that Jay did something criminal, but facts don't lie. She was clearly 16. Another picture dated January 31st, 1998, caught Jay-Z showing up at a Destiny's Child performance in North Dallas while Beyoncé was still only 16. Fast forward to a 2013 Oprah sit-down, where she stressed their romance began after a year of phone chats, insisting they were friends first, and that bond mattered most. Cute spin, right? But funny how Jay-Z was casually calling up a 16 or 17-year-old nonstop. Sounds suspiciously like grooming behavior. Don't forget, the two share a glaring 12-year age gap. And in one interview, Beyoncé claimed they met at 18, but didn't start dating until a year and a half later, at 19. Meanwhile, Jay-Z told Charlie Rose they'd met 10 years ago, putting that at 1997, making her underage. Their official spin is they waited before dating, which sounds eerily similar to Kylie and Tyga's excuse. So let's circle back to grooming. Basically, grooming is what happens when an adult will chase after a minor, laying groundwork with constant texts, endless calls, trying to win trust and emotional control before making their move. Years later, Jay-Z teamed up with Pharrell on a track where he straight up brags about grooming a 19-year-old and even detailing the process. Naturally, everyone tied those lyrics to Beyoncé, since the official story claims they started dating at 19. He even rapped, "Have got a young girl. Got myself a young girl. Not even 21 yet. So high-strung. Such a vibrant little thing. I stepped in smooth, said, 'Hi, Miss Thing. You're 19, blazing like lightning trapped in a bottle. I'll slide you my number and tomorrow I'll hit you with a ring.' There's a reason Hollywood elites always glide past scandals without a scratch. And there's a reason Morgan stands tall as America's biggest injury firm. Normal folks like me don't exactly have a courtroom army on speed dial. When you're hurt in an accident, insurance companies scheme to hand you pennies. That's exactly when Morgan swoops in. Packing over 1,000 lawyers and 100 offices nationwide, they're designed to battle for everyday people, not greedy corporations. In Florida, an insurance company dangled $350,000 at a client. Morgan stormed in and secured $12 million. Sure, past results don't promise the same jackpot, but this is literally their daily grind, and now it's simpler than ever. You won't be forced to mess with those mountains of paperwork. And you won't shell out a dime up front either. You can literally launch your claim within minutes straight from your phone. Just scan that QR code flashing on the screen with your camera. Keep in mind, their fee is zero unless they actually win. So if you ever end up hurt, hit up Morgan & Morgan. Once again, you could kickstart your claim today by scanning that QR code or clicking the link sitting right in my description. Quick, easy, and maybe life-changing. If Jay-Z really stepped into Beyoncé's world at 16, then he's been camped there ever since she was just a kid still piecing herself together. And whether they call it dating at 16, 17, 18, or 19, whatever version they push, she was still way too young. Honestly, every single decision, every move she's ever made has partly been his call too. We've even dropped videos before hinting Beyoncé might have been drugged. Do I know if that's legit? Not at all. She barely does interviews these days, and honestly, I doubt someone that drugged could slay stages like she does. Still, plenty believe she's trapped in a Britney-style setup, only this time with Jay-Z pulling every single string. Here's why I'm convinced Beyoncé lives under a Britney Spears-style conservatorship with Jay-Z running it. She cut her first album at just 15, and he already had his hands in it, meaning he clearly knew her long before. Again, Beyoncé insists she only started dating him at 19, while he was 31. She's even admitted in multiple interviews that he taught her how to be a woman. His exact words, "Taught me how to be a woman. He taught me how to lead," which honestly screams grooming if you ask me. That footage of Beyoncé admitting Jay-Z taught her to be a woman just feels unsettling. She probably meant it as a compliment, but the vibe? Dark. Almost like he snatched her innocence instead. Then, by 2003, the two officially teamed up musically, dropping collabs like Crazy in Love and, of course, the Ride or Die anthem Bonnie and Clyde. By 2004, they hit the VMAs flaunting PDA like it was a competition. Right then, endless rumors swirled that the two secretly tied the knot, or at least got engaged. Beyoncé clapped back with sass, saying, "I'm engaged and married at the same time." Translation: neither happened. So through 2004, 2005, 2006, and 2007, chatter non-stop circled about whether Beyoncé and Jay-Z were actually already husband and wife. And maybe it all stayed hidden. A blind item spilled that on January 28, 2004, Jay-Z hit up a party with a buddy and delivered a speech. While talking to his friend, he declared, "You've been one of my closest friends ever, except for this woman, Beyoncé, beside me, who I love and will marry soon." Naturally, everyone at that party treated it like an engagement reveal. Not long after, Beyoncé publicly claimed she had zero plans to marry. Yet by summer 2004, the two easily could have tied the knot. Jay-Z was busy rehearsing for his infamous Best of Both Worlds tour, while Beyoncé wrapped up a Destiny's Child run and jumped into filming the Pink Panther. Still, she kept denying non-stop. At a May 2004 press conference, she flat out clarified, nope, she wasn't married yet. And plenty of people were questioning the holdup since they'd been together forever. Honestly, I think public pressure shoved them toward marriage, because by 2008 they quietly wed in a super private ceremony. Hardly anyone attended. Not a single paparazzi flash. Jay-Z later addressed the wedding, saying, "I just feel it's a part of life you've got to protect. You must keep it private, otherwise you'll go completely insane surviving in this kind of business." A few celebs popped up, like Michelle Williams, Gwyneth Paltrow, and Chris Martin. There's even a clip from the wedding, and honestly, it looks tiny and low-key. Which, good for them, because with all that money, they could have thrown the century's biggest bash. Instead, it came off surprisingly ordinary. At one point, Beyoncé even fed him a slice of cake before sealing it with a kiss. But even after the wedding, people weren't satisfied. Whispers grew louder that maybe the secrecy was intentional, to dodge questions about their sketchy timeline, or the looming suspicion that Jay-Z groomed Beyoncé. Then came a juicy blind item in March of that very year, spilling more dirt about Beyoncé and Jay-Z. This globally worshipped pop queen is hailed as one of the most powerful women alive. Her marriage to a rap mogul gets praised as the ultimate black love fairy tale and empire blueprint. But behind the velvet curtain, it's no dream at all. What fans rarely realize is the superstar never genuinely wanted this union in the first place. Truth is, both the marriage and relationship were something she got pressured straight into by none other than her own mother, which is wild. Honestly, I doubt Beyoncé ever dated another man, considering Jay-Z's been circling since she was 16. She was barely 19 when Jay, already in his early 30s, locked his eyes on her. Back then she was still shaping her voice, still unsure of herself and hesitant about dating someone nearly 13 years older. Meanwhile, her mother, who had been steering her career, decided the relationship was pure strategy. She convinced her daughter that locking in with a rap mogul would skyrocket her fame and cement her legacy. Mom had empire building on the brain and swore that pairing with Jay-Z was the golden ticket. So, even with doubts, Beyoncé played along. What she didn't realize then was just how dark her future husband's history was, or how it would eventually crawl back to haunt her. Jay-Z once admitted his marriage to Beyoncé wasn't built on total truth. Makes you wonder if this is what he meant. He said, "This is my real life. I rushed into this spot, and we built this big, shiny mansion of a relationship that wasn't fully based on honesty, and then it started cracking. Now, we've dished about Uncle Ron before right here on the channel. He was a celebrity bodyguard for Jay-Z and Beyoncé. In interviews, he flat out said their marriage isn't about love, it's strictly business and protecting their brand." He also claimed he got pressured into silence and threatened after trying to spill secrets. Uncle Ron's final video before his death, yes, death, people, dropped online September 14, 2023, leaving everyone buzzing about what really went down. He alleged Jay-Z had deep ties to Diddy and even hinted they were linked to Biggie's death, claiming Diddy once offered him money for the hit. He also insisted Beyoncé and Jay-Z's marriage was nothing but a power contract, crafted for money and influence. And of course, the suspicious timing, his leaked video exposing their role in wrecking Carrie Hilson's career, and their cozy ties with Diddy lined up right before his death. Naturally, people started speculating. Was he silenced just for dropping that video? Meanwhile, Jaguar Wright has run her mouth plenty, sometimes landing herself in hot water. On Piers Morgan, she painted Beyoncé and Jay-Z as a shady little duo wrapped up in disturbing behavior. She even claimed she personally knows 3 people willing to testify against them, swearing the pair are involved in some truly nasty business. She claimed those victims were held against their will or snatched while unconscious. Now, Beyoncé and Jay-Z's lawyer has dismissed every single claim Jaguar Wright has thrown. But listen to her words, he's a narcissist. He couldn't care less about anyone but himself. And those kids? They're nothing more than body shields. She even argued that when the two finally tied the knot, they had a prenup. 3 kids had to be produced so she could cash in, what was it? $500,000 for the girls and a full $1 million for a boy. Seriously, prenups cover baby quotas now? This whole setup screams business, scripted long before those kids even existed in the marriage deal. That prenup she signed? Pure ice-cold contract law. One commenter even wrote, "Folks under NDAs can't talk, so instead they call." Jaguar Wright has every right to spill the tea on them, but let's flip the page. As I said, this is a conspiracy breakdown, and I've uncovered another layer. Maybe the reason their union stays so locked down. Now, meet the other woman, Kathy White right now. She was a PR pro before her death, known in circles as Lil, a nickname that kept showing up in whispered gossip. Kathy, Coriana Hun, and Corey were small nicknames, since she was half Korean and African American. A YouTube upload by the account Trap Laura Ross says Kathy thrived in LA. She reportedly crossed paths with influential figures and celebrities like Nicki Chu, and with photographer Chenoa Maxwell. Even Claudia Jordan claimed she knew Kathy. Now, it remains unclear where Kathy and Jay-Z actually connected professionally, romantically, or simply through mutual friends, after those Los Angeles sightings to this day. They supposedly met, but that YouTuber claims they likely crossed paths on a Vegas trip with friend Claudia Jordan. Party photos seem to show Kathy socializing with Jay-Z and Diddy. Enter Liz Crokin, a well-known journalist and conspiracy investigator I've seen before, who started digging into Kathy White's ties to Jay-Z back in 2010. So picture Beyoncé, and exactly how or when their connection began remains murky to this day to most outsiders. Jay-Z married in 2008, and then Liz caught wind of whispers about an alleged affair. She explained, "My boss told me to dig into a blog post claiming a woman named Kathy White, friends called her Corey, was secretly involved with Jay-Z. Liz actually contacted Kathy, and Kathy admitted she might go public with the story." Liz later wrote, "In 2011, I was the reporter tied to Jay-Z's supposed mistress. Kathy White was preparing to sit for an interview and finally go public. But just days later, she turned up dead." Liz flat out said, "I believe she was murdered and that Jay-Z had a hand in it. Kathy was only 28, so her sudden death feels far from random. Liz later gave an interview walking through her conversations with Kathy White. So let's roll it back and actually take a look at what she I was under the impression she was seriously weighing going on record publicly to tell me about her alleged affair with Jay-Z. A few days passed and I kept following up, calling, leaving messages, but I couldn't reach her. This went on for several days, which felt bizarre, because she always answered her work phone. It struck me as odd that she wasn't responding when she normally would. The silence felt sudden and unnerving and out of character given how reliable she'd been. Her phone went straight to ghost mode. She vanished without a trace. I had no idea what was happening, so I reached out to one of her colleagues repeatedly. When I finally got through, the colleague dropped the bomb. She was dead. I stood stunned and said, "What?" The colleague confirmed, "Yes, she's dead." I whispered, "Well, what do you mean she's dead? Seriously, what happened to her? She was a beautiful, apparently healthy 28-year-old. I was told she had no known medical issues, which made the news even more shocking. Her colleague couldn't explain what happened or how or why she died. All they could confirm was that she was gone. Naturally, when I first heard that, I was stunned, confused, and immediately wanted answers. I kept calling, pacing, and plotting my next move. Man, it was deeply alarming to learn that this woman, who was reportedly about to hand me an exclusive about an alleged affair with one of the world's most powerful rappers, might have been silenced. And yes, how convenient for Jay-Z that she suddenly died. They say Kathy succumbed to a brain aneurysm. Age reports vary between 29 and 28. Either way, still shockingly young. For many, the timing smelled off, prompting whispers, suspicion, and the inevitable question rolling through the gossip mill. Maybe. People started whispering about foul play. Conspiracy theories about Kathy White exploded after her death. Our source Jaguar Wright insists Kathy was pregnant when she died, and allegedly Jay-Z would have been the father. Meanwhile, mutual friend Claudia Jordan publicly dismissed those rumors. I'm not sure whose side Claudia's on because she's close to Diddy, after all, so the debate keeps spinning with no clear answers and plenty of suspicion left for the internet buzz. Jay-Z, so she could be doing some of their dirty work. But check this. Jaguar Wright resurfaces, claiming a clip exists where she talks about Kathy White possibly being pregnant and Jay-Z taking her out because he didn't want to answer for an affair or a potential child. I doubt Beyoncé would have tolerated that. Witnesses say the woman died screaming, and the Carters are blamed though, as always. One of them seems a touch more culpable than the other. Did Sean Carter erase his pregnant mistress just to pacify a jealous wife? Now, Claudia Jordan jumped on Instagram Live and spilled that Kathy came to her house several times during the months they hung out in 2010. Claudia swore Kathy was never pregnant. They drank, partied, and gambled together. She even recalled late nights rolling dice and playing craps in Vegas, insisting Kathy lived carefree without any sign of a baby bump at all. They even hit an amusement park with her then boyfriend, definitely not Jay-Z. But another wild fan theory insists Jay-Z and Beyoncé's first child, Blue Ivy, is secretly Kathy White's baby. Remember, Beyoncé announced her pregnancy on August 28, 2011, at the VMAs, and just days later, Kathy turned up dead. So now Claudia Jordan looks like she's working overtime, desperate to prove no affair ever happened, insisting there was absolutely there's no baby. There was no relationship. Basically, Jay-Z is completely innocent in this mess. I saw him in Vegas at a crowded party. Jay-Z and Diddy were both present there. My friend Kathy White, whom you keep trying to drag me into with, had no affair with Jay-Z. It's not true. She never told me anything. She never once said she was involved with him. In fact, when she died, she had a boyfriend named Malcolm, and she died while with him. I need everyone to kill this rumor that she was carrying Jay-Z's baby. She never mentioned that to me. I never saw her pregnant. What I did see was her drinking, laughing, and us hitting Magic Mountain, Six Flags together without a single hint of scandal. They were riding together, hitting the coasters like normal people, hardly the profile of someone secretly pregnant by a superstar. But of course, a viral blind item on TikTok spun a different tale, claiming she switched her story to shield Jay-Z. If you've tracked those whispers, the rumor mill now screams that he had his pregnant mistress, Kathy White, murdered. Even crazier, they say Claudia Jordan is allegedly on the payroll to silence anyone who knows the truth and keep the whole story buried. Now they're claiming the friend of an alleged murder victim is suddenly cashing in, rewriting her account to shield this permanent A-list rapper. Look, if I were Claudia Jordan and someone whispered, "Do something shady and you'll end up just like your friend Kathy White," I'd be terrified. Still, I want to know what you think. Drop your takes in the comments below. This whole conspiracy is bonkers, and I had to make a video about it. Tell me if you believe any of it. Tell me what you think of this brand new series. This is either our second or third, pretty sure it's the second installment in the celebrity conspiracy lineup. So drop your requests on which scandal you want exposed next, and of course, leave all your thoughts in the comments below. Alright, I'm out. Bye guys.